Much as President-elect Trump, she is one of the main reasons, one or two reasons why we are electing Donald Trump today. Stephen Roberts, who is one of the best, is going to join us for a couple of minutes from Washington, D.C. Good morning, Stephen Roberts.
Hey, McGraw.
Pretty extraordinary day. What is going through that brilliant head of yours on a day like today?
Well, I'm trying to compare this day to other inaugurations I've seen. The one that comes to mind is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan ran against Washington as the puzzle palace on the Potomac. Donald Trump is not the first president to be sworn in who campaigned against the Capitol that he is now taking over. But there are significant differences. One is that Ronald Reagan ran against Washington with kind of a smile. He still called it a city on a hill. I think Donald Trump ran against this city with a scowl, not a smile. Lock her up is not exactly city on a hill. And also, he comes in with a much lower approval rating. Ronald Reagan rode into this city 36 years ago on a great wave of enthusiasm and goodwill. Yet today, Donald Trump's approval ratings are around 40%, the lowest of any new president in the history of polling. And in fact, ironically, the man he's replacing, Barack Obama, far higher poll numbers, around 57% this morning. So I'm thinking about Ronald Reagan, but there are a lot of differences.
Stephen Roberts, everything's anecdotal at this point, but you read story after story in the New York Times, the Washington Post, some other stories about even his supporters are saying they don't want him to do all the things he said he was going to do. And even people who voted for him are saying, well, I voted for him, but I really didn't think the guy would win.
Well, I think that's true. I'm looking at a couple of numbers, McGraw. You and I have talked about them before. You look at the exit polls, 61% of Americans who voted last November said that Donald Trump was not qualified to be president, and yet 17% of those people voted for him anyway. 63% said he did not have the temperament or the judgment to be president. 19% of them voted for him. I think of that group as sort of the hope quotient. These are people with deep doubts about Donald Trump, and yet they voted for him anyway, and they're very much hoping that he will turn out to be a different president than he was a candidate. There's been a lot of talk in the last few days about, is Trump a legitimate president? I think that's not fair. I think under the system that was in place in November, even though he did not win the popular vote, he won the Electoral College, he is a legitimate president. Legitimacy is not in question this morning for a lot of Americans. What is in question is Trump's ability. Legitimacy and ability are not the same thing. And those polls show that even a lot of people who voted for him still have grave doubts about the judgment and temperament of this man who's about to become our next president.
Many of the eyes are going to be on Donald Trump today, but if they're not on Donald Trump, then they're going to be on Hillary Clinton. And even though she's not giving a speech, she has got to bite her tongue and do all the things she probably doesn't want to do today.
Oh, absolutely. This is a woman who, up until about 8 o'clock on election night, really thought she was going to be the next president. I'm sure she had a lot of plans, a lot of hopes that have been dashed, and she's not the only one. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of people who thought they'd be joining the administration as well. One person I'm thinking about this morning actually is a man named Merrick Garland. He was the judge who was nominated to the Supreme Court by Barack Obama. Never got a hearing, hoped that if Hillary won, he would be renominated, and now he's going to be a very, very small footnote in history.
Stephen Roberts, enjoy the day. ABC News political analyst. Stephen, have a good day. Thanks.
Thanks, pal.
7:42. By the way, Stephen Roberts.
He is
the best.
Just
the best.
Hands down.
Silky smooth. Knowledgeable,
in
well-read.
Perspectives that you would not,
the
think
constitutional memory, the institutional memory the man has. He's
and married to a great lady, Cokie.
Velvet.
Cokie Roberts.
Stephen Roberts is velvet. That's all there is to it. 7:42, Big 550, KTRS. You know what else is velvet? Harry's Razors. Thank you very much.